Two Tunes Podcast. What's up? Welcome to the Two Tunes Podcast.
Two Tunes Podcast.
That's our new intro.
Episode million.
Wait, so speaking of intros, so
Yes.
last episode I sang an improvised intro.
Yeah, you did.
And
It was-
you
it
do
was
all
me.
the
editing.
and all that stuff. So like, are you gonna use it? You should use it.
You want me to use it
Just once.
every time?
Yeah, I won't know though because we're recording and you're gonna put it in after. If
Okay,
anything.
so if we just heard
Actually, for all I know,
it's already
every time I talk, you could just play that instead, and that'll be what people hear from me.
it'll be great.
Please don't do that, but that also
will not.
maybe do that. It'd be really funny.
No, I asked my friend. So we eventually want to go through puberty because my voice just cracked. But we eventually want to have guests on this podcast. So I asked a friend of mine, and he felt who's listened to both.
Sweet.
Or all the episodes.
Yeah, at this point there are 2 out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But by the time you're listening to this, there are like 8.
Yeah.
But he was talking. He's like, "Oh, I can't do what you guys do." I'm like,
Do what?
"Do what?" like we know a lot about we know a lot about music theory, but we're not really mentioning that as much.
Yeah.
And I'm like more talking about production.
Right. And I'm just talking about I like stuff.
Yeah. Which is really what we want is just so you could go to the Discord and put its links in the description
Sure.
or in the show notes, whatever they're called, wherever they are. It's there and stuff like that.
Sweet. So I was telling Bo off air, so I guess I got to use it for content, but so at this point we're recording this in like beginning of January-ish. So 2 episodes are out and I listened to them which I was like, is that narcissistic to listen to our own podcast? But then I was like, well, I want to, for one, because we recorded them like months ago.
Yeah.
Because we did those first 2 kind of like back to back.
October or November?
One of them at least was in October. I think we even mentioned October or whatever, but it's been a while. So I was kind of like, well, I don't even remember like what the heck we talked about. So it was kind of cool revisiting that a little bit.
It is because people are also commenting to us.
Yeah.
Or at least to me.
Oh, I got a text like from my friend last week listening to episode 1, and he was like, it was something you were talking about, like a D sharp, and I said it was an E flat. And he was like, for the record, it's E flat. And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about. That was like September.
I had a text or a message from Gabriel, and he was talking, and I'm like, I'll have to go back to that.
Right.
So let me do this. And then I had a former student comment about stuff, and I'm like, yeah, cool, that's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for everybody for listening in general, and like thanks for sharing and posting and stuff. Yeah. We just had somebody who I don't even know shared our thing on their Instagram story the other day, and I was like, "Hey, thanks, that's awesome! Like, sweet."
That's even cooler. People you don't know,
cool. Right? Yeah.
People
maybe it's somebody that you know. I don't. You know,
maybe
I assume the like followers that we have are through us, but hopefully it branches out from there. It'd be pretty dope. So
I think I know who it was.
Okay.
Maybe. Anyways, so we're going to get into song 1.
Sweet. Yeah. So real quick recap, because as we said in episode 2, which I just listened to, every episode could be somebody's first episode.
Yes.
So the whole point is...
Thank you, Kevin Smith.
Bo and I are musicians, music teachers, music fans, and each week we share a tune with each other, 24 hours in advance, roughly. We get up to 3 listens, and then we talk about it.
Yeah, sometimes we break those rules.
Sometimes we do break those rules.
Like, hey, dude, this is a song right here.
Yeah.
This was a last-minute song for me. I mean, it was on a list, but it wasn't the one that I'm like, I'm ready to talk about it. But then you didn't want to do the thing that we were going to do.
Which we'll do it for the next episode.
Yeah.
Because I just needed a minute. And then
we might have a running joke
maybe
going
like
on.
10 minutes after I did that, I found it.
You found one.
But
it doesn't take that long.
No, it doesn't.
So fine.
Yeah. So anyway, the first tune is a tune that I brought forth here. This is Denim Jacket by Sammy Rae and the Friends.
I'm glad that you said "and the Friends" because on I listen through Apple, and you listen through Spotify. Mm-hmm. We're 2 sides of the fists, anyways. And it doesn't say "and the Friends." You have to like actually go search for that.
So here's the thing. So I believe I have the EP that this is from. This is from her first EP, which came out 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. They have a new one coming out like at this point relatively shortly, like January 2021 is the new EP that's coming out.
Okay.
But anyway, I'm sorry, this isn't even off of the first EP.
No, it's not.
I lied
it's
about
a
that.
single.
This is a single. But anyway, I'm trying to remember if the first EP is branded as Sammy Rae and the Friends. I think it is. But she herself was branded as Sammy Rae. And it's like the band is the Friends. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So It's like Selena Gomez. It was like Selena Gomez and The Scene or something for like a hot minute.
Was it?
It was.
I don't know. I don't know any of that.
I don't know why I know that at all.
What is she from?
Disney stuff.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you what. Wizards of Waverly Place, I want to say.
There you go. How old are you again? 12?
100. I don't know. Like, I've never seen that in my life, but I feel like I just know that that's correct.
We know too much about stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so Sammy Rae. So she's singer, songwriter, band leader, whatever. She's like in her mid-20s. I was reading like some of her bio. She published albums released albums at 15, 17, and 19.
Yep, I read that in the bio too.
And apparently those are also not available anymore, which, that's fair.
Like,
you're a kid, whatever. But so just recently, like within the last couple months or so, she has decided that they are Sammy Rae and the Friends for sure. Like the Friends have always been a part of this, but now that's the official name change kind of thing and whatever.
Where's she based out of?
She is currently based out of New York City.
Okay.
She's from Connecticut, I believe.
New England?
Sure. I think it's Connecticut.
I'm noticing that I keep going like this. Like it's there. So I'm sorry.
What's that called? There's like a thing for that.
ASMR?
No, not that. Between that and Billie Eilish, might as well bring her up every episode. It started in episode 2, by the way. Anyway, this is the podcast where Bo and I laugh at each other.
This is called Two Tunes and Billie Eilish.
Two dumb dudes talking about Billie Eilish. Anyway,
new theme.
So yes,
it's going off
so Sammy Rae, like I said, they sort of rebranded as the Friends. I want to read a little bit of the bio.
Okay, I want to pop in just for a second.
Go for it. While I put this up here.
So this when listening to it. Mm-hmm. And then kind of discovering some of her personal history. Mm-hmm. Like, before I knew specifically that she is living in New York and that scene, I was like, this sounds like something that, like, Adam Neely would be a part of. Mm-hmm. And
which I actually just thought about. How did I find Sammy Rae?
Is this how you found her?
How I found Sammy Rae was Adam Neely, who's a great YouTuber, great musician, great, like he's awesome.
Sungazer.
Sungazer Aberdeen plays with them as well. Plays with like everybody, 8-Bit, like all those different things. But Sungazer's like his.
Everybody wants to play with Adam Neely in New York now because it's free publicity.
Yeah. So anyway, it was one of his Q&A videos. I'm pretty sure. I don't even know which one, but I think it's one of the Q&A videos, which, to be honest, I don't always watch because it's not always stuff that's relevant to me. Sometimes I'll like skip around through them.
It's
or whatever.
not his dissertations that he releases.
Yeah. Those are the ones that I really latch onto. But anyway, so I think it was one of the Q&A kind of things, and I think. I don't remember the video. I don't remember the question, but I just was like absentmindedly kind of listening while I was doing some work. Yeah. And I think he was mentioning like people that he digs, essentially. And he just is like throwing out names. And for whatever reason, Sammy Rae, he says the Sammy Rae thing. And I'm like, Sammy, it's like not a name I've heard of. And maybe it was because I think the other names he had said I probably had heard of, like Shub Saran or whatever, some of those guys. And so I was like, quick YouTube, like Google thing, whatever, Sammy Rae. I'm like, oh, okay. And like this video pops up of them at Rockwood. Okay. I was like, oh, cool. I've been to Rockwood. Like, that's cool. Let me hear them play at that. And it was not this song, but it was another song, which I also really love, which was like, I Almost Chose. But then like, I immediately fell in love. And I'm like, give me all the Sammy Rae you got, which is not a ton.
It's not a lot. It's maybe like
10 songs?
15 max.
Max, yeah. And some of them are like, well, this is the shortened version of this. This is the extended version of this. This is a different version, like that kind of stuff.
I think there was like 5 or 6 singles, and then the EP, which had maybe 5 or 6
tunes on it as well. Yeah. Which one of them, "Kick It to Me," is the one that I first heard live, and then is great on the EP and stuff. But yeah, so that's where I found her initially in the band. So real quick about the Friends. They have a mantra of the Friend. Go put a smile on somebody's face. Go tell somebody they've got a place in this world. Go tell somebody you want to be friends with them. And they say about our shows are safe spaces for you to do your thing, raise your voice, wear your funky clothes, dance how you like. We don't have fans, we have friends. So like the Friends is the band, but the Friends is like the movement, the community,
audience.
Yeah, so it's cool. It's like it's very welcoming and open, and there's a bunch of live stuff they have on YouTube, and it's cool to see them like rock out, and like it feels like a friendship, family kind of like supportive community.
I think they put it in there a collective.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a very new. Well, it's not a new thing because I think that like Willie Nelson was doing stuff similar to that. Which I'm not saying this sounds like Willie Nelson at all.
No,
but like the aesthetics could. They could be like, yeah, I'm influenced by that idea.
Yeah.
Of like just hanging out and writing music and singing and
And they're all
songs.
like super inclusive too. Like I don't know specifically how Sammy identifies, but I believe in like her bio on Instagram and stuff. Like she identifies as part of the LGBTQ community. You know, so like it's just super open and welcoming and like, my gosh, don't we need that?
Yeah.
All the time, but especially
Super
now.
cool.
Like, so that's awesome.
I watched the video for this song.
Yes, I was going to bring that up.
She's not wearing a denim jacket at all, ever.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No,
she? I haven't watched
like
it.
It's like a blazer, not a blazer. It's like a sports jacket.
Now. But I feel it
is not denim.
Come on.
It is not made out of denim.
All right, I'm pulling it. Start the tune.
Okay, so here's the start, and I'll
phone.
pause it immediately because you'll understand. I already have my comment.
Sweet.
So, you guys like funk? Because it's right there.
Yeah.
I can hear this like, welcome to the 70s, right?
I'm at the after party.
All right, so right there, for me, it's not weird, but it's a thing. So the wah funk guitars are on the left. This is a production thing. Yeah. And then as soon as she starts talking, it moves over to both sides. But it doesn't sound like there's a second guitar. It sounds like they just moved the panning over.
I think there might only be one guitar in this band.
I think there's a second.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
It's not.
Part. I see the jacket you're talking about.
Yeah.
Right.
But the
she actually wears multiple jackets.
She does.
I think the denim jacket is an idea.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So production-wise, this is a little bit weird. I would have been just like, if you want to understand the producer aspect of it, is like we want to widen the sound because it would feel really weird. It would feel lopsided. You'd actually probably want to like tilt your head to the left if you just heard the wah and then you had the vocals straight in the center. And I understand why they moved it towards the center, but my idea would be we're going to add that on the other side, but we're going to double it. It's going to be a different performance because these are like too perfect with the wahs as well.
Everybody's talking for me, everybody's talking fast and loud.
Which could be done after.
I figure maybe if I get my jacket, step outside, get myself some air, then I could share myself more fully with
I
the
think it is too.
crowd in the front.
I also like that you feel like that buildup is coming, and then it like
pockets on the inside, big enough to hold my
bring that back
shame.
down a little bit.
I put the thing around my
Yes.
shoulder.
I love her voice too. Super versatile. And here comes. Wait for it.
Yeah, those hits.
Little
And then it's like more funk.
Yeah.
You like funk? We got all the funk.
All the funk, dude.
Those horns, great.
Boop-a-doo-dap. 2 saxes.
Yeah.
Real simple.
And that when I was like, ooh, this. Well, let's get into it a little bit more. When it actually like the saxes, and there's a violin in here, isn't there?
There is eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Also, the one sax lick that happens kind of like after this bit, I love. I might sing it.
I like that too. Where she doesn't say denim,
right
it's
there.
the background.
It's the backup
thing.
singer. So that's the thing. They're listed as backup singers and dancers because they do all that, and they're like super into it and great. And,
Awesome. Yeah, but I like that it's like
Denim jacket.
Yeah, where it's like it's a call and response, but it's not a call and response. It's just like it's the sentence. My bulletproof denim jacket, but my bulletproof denim jacket.
And
Which is the second
even if
part.
you look up the lyrics, they're like denim jackets in parentheses.
Yeah,
because
because
she doesn't sing it.
it's
Yeah.
background stuff. So I think this is. Okay, so this horn line reminds me of. It's okay.
I love it so
You
much.
dig it. You dig it a lot.
I dig it so much.
Well, I'm just gonna like stop it afterwards.
Some strings.
Yeah. So there's the strings part. That have you heard of Thank You Scientist?
Yes, not listen to them. Or no, actually, I have, but like not really.
Yeah. Well, that horn line with the violin reminds me of that.
Okay.
Reminds me of Thank You Scientist,
Interesting. Okay.
which is another for me offshoot of Coheed and Cambria. So like where I discover things.
Okay.
So yeah. So that like I was like, oh, this really like even like it's I don't want to say that it's exactly the same, but it's super familiar.
Yeah.
Like maybe the orchestration is the same. Like
Okay.
so there's two like because there's two saxophones and a violin, like that timbral
Right.
idea there, or even like the harmonies that are in there. I mean, they're just like I don't know. It's just
thirds and fourths and sixths.
Exactly. Like
the go-to harmonies pretty much.
Exactly. Where it could be like, oh, well, they're just using the same voicing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm on the patio, listening to an
This song's cool too. There's a lot of interesting like formal elements to this because like there is like verse, chorus, pre-chorusy things, but then there's like an extended bridge and then some other stuff. Like it's not totally fixed exactly.
Yeah.
But the other thing I really like too is like lyrical content is similar, and she even like says like similar lines in each thing, but like way different. Like this verse sounds incredibly different than the first one.
Okay.
Even with the extra vocals and the other things, and obviously like the whole band is in at one time, but I just really like it. It's cool that she's like setting up these like different scenes that are happening,
Yeah.
and stuff, and like how she's not feeling super confident. Put on my denim jacket. Somebody's being a dick. Put on my denim jacket. You know what I mean? Like it's all good for you. Like
Yeah. Now, is this
this is like the third verse now,
okay?
but they went right into it. There's no sax thing like there was before.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I'm like thinking this is where the bridge would be.
Right.
Like
but
if
that's
you're-
coming.
Yeah. So like let's extend and then.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Because
this
even
is-
that, like that third verse, almost even wasn't like a verse. Maybe it was like another chorus, but it was like different lyrical content and different melodic content and stuff.
And I like how this builds.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to listen to it.
I know, Sam. I mentioned before I really like her voice. She's super versatile. Like on her, she posts on her Instagram all the time, just singing whatever. She lists like Freddie Mercury and like singers like that as like some influences and stuff. And she's even like dressed as Freddie Mercury and stuff.
Yeah.
And, like says she wants to be him. Like, but his voice, same, like so versatile. Like. And has such control over it too.
Yeah.
Like that's the incredible thing. And then you listen to the live recordings that she has out there, which again there are a bunch of in different contexts. Like that song "Kick It to Me," which was the first one that I really heard and like fell in love with. So there was the live version at Rockwood. There was like another live version where I think they're like sitting on a couch in like a studio for like a website or something like that.
Okay.
There's like another one where they're in Boston, and there's another one where they're here, and then there's the studio version, and like, and they're all good. Like, you know.
Yeah. Man, I forgot what I was gonna say. I know why I stopped the music. I stopped the music because like in the video at this point they're doing like the little like dance line.
Yeah. Oh, it's like it totally turns into like an 80s.
I would even go 70s.
Okay. Yeah. That's
Like
right. Yeah.
Soul Train
Yeah. Okay.
thing.
I can see
I don't even know.
Or like Saturday Night Fever.
Yes.
Ish. Yeah. I get
Yeah.
that. And I'm thinking like the outfits remind me more 80s, but the movie.
Oh yeah.
scene for sure
The
is-
outfits wise, it's totally 80s. It's kind of this is not like the what I'm about to mention could be split into like, oh yeah, 80s, but then also 50s. But like Grease.
Oh yes. Yeah.
In the video, there's a thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it's. I think the video is as important to this song as the song itself.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need it. But
No.
it's like the video is like really informative of like what's going on
For sure.
or what could be going on with it and stuff like that. The video is really, really good. So go watch it
Yeah. Please do.
with this. It's really cool. And I only watched it once. But that's what's going on during this part. There's like a dance line.
Yeah.
There's probably another word for that I have no idea what it's called.
It's like dance battle sort of thing.
Yeah, but I forget what it's called. Is it called the Soul Train? Is that what it's called? Like when like you get two lines and you meet up and then you go down.
Oh. I don't know.
I don't know what it's called. Not a hand job, kids. That's for you, Gladwell. The bass line was mirroring that as well.
Yeah.
That sax line.
Yeah, they're just so tight. Like they just,
Yeah.
you can tell they really work together. I think like a bunch of them live together. Like
Yeah. That's all they do.
They even during like the quarantine times and stuff, they all like went out in the woods somewhere or something. That's kind of what it looked like, at least from Instagram. Like and recorded like a bunch of this new EP stuff, or like did some things in the studio. Like yeah, they're just.
I dig that
ending.
that ending where the words Denim Jacket are displaced, but they have the melody on the saxophones.
Horns, yeah, that's fun.
That was really cool.
Yeah, I really dig her music a lot. And there's you're gonna get some funky stuff like this from a bunch of it in different avenues. It's not all straight up like funk the way that is.
The K.
Yeah.
The capital K.
With capital K. But like some of it's more poppy, some of it's more like laid back, and then she's got some like there's a beautiful tune called Jackie Onassis.
Yeah, I listened to that earlier.
Which is it's just this like beautiful ballad and stuff, and there's other stuff. They did a cover of Last Christmas, which like I don't really love that song, but I love their version of it. So
I want to like if you listen to this and you're like and you're expecting this, like you're like, oh, it's a funk. They're a funk band,
right?
You're not going to get that.
They're not. Yeah,
like it's a lot of different things. Like I haven't really with the amount of songs that they have, there's not really a defined genre.
Correct.
In the sense of the Deer Hunter, like as we talked about last week.
Yeah.
Which I think this song sounds like a Deer Hunter song,
You did
or at
say
least.
that.
And did you agree? I played it for you earlier.
Enough, or like maybe
like there's some similarities.
Yes.
Or ideas of the funk 70s disco.
Yeah, for sure.
Ideas there.
Enough too that I didn't even know it was the Deer Hunter. And since then, speaking of like, so part of the point of this podcast too is like to expose each other to new music, but also the listeners.
Yes.
And hoping that people go out and check stuff out. I have in the last week, not even, we recorded this like a few days ago, the other one episode, but I have listened to pretty much all of the Color Spectrum. I listened to the entire Migrant album, which was Shame was from, and like, oh man, I dig it. I have to get into the acts, but like,
if you listen to, you can listen to the acts and not like have to pay attention to the story, but it makes it, for me, it makes it that much
even
cooler.
Better. Yeah.
Because then there's like, oh, what's happening here? Oh, what's happening next?
Yeah.
Oh, that idea was back there. Because then you're like listening to an orchestral piece,
right?
That is probably 6 hours long. I'm guessing, because I'm guessing that like there's X amount of records and they're about this long. Right. There's probably 5 hours worth of music.
That's cool though. Yeah, but yeah, that's the thing. Like, go check out more stuff. Also, we know that we are talking about Spotify and Apple Music a lot, but like, please don't just listen to music on those things.
Any of these bands that I absolutely
music.
love, I will buy their vinyl on vinyl.
Same, yeah. Or CD, like whatever. Like Sammy Rae's thing only exists on, at least the first EP is only on CD. So I bought the CD, but I also bought some stickers, and she's got like hats and socks and sweatpants. You know what I mean? So like, I tell my students this all the time too. Like, you like a group, like buy whatever you can from them, not just of them, but from them if you can. You know, just support all these people as much as possible.
Streaming is convenient, but it is not beneficial to those artists at all.
Case in point, Spotify just like took down a bunch of stuff because they were like, this isn't making us enough money. But it's like, but those people need those streams to make. I think they have put some of it back in. But
I need to look into that. But buy music from the people that you really, really like. Use Spotify and Apple Music as a way to discover new music. But then if you really dig somebody, buy their stuff.
Absolutely.
Like physical medium.
From them, not from Amazon. From
Amazon's just
Barnes and Noble or whatever.
It's super easy to do this. Like, just be like, ooh, what's the band's website? Or what record label are they on? And then be like, ooh, they have a vinyl, which comes with a digital download. Obviously, because like you can't just sell the vinyl without a digital download now. And then you own a physical thing that you can look at. And that's really cool too. And has credits and tells you who's a part of these things. So plus people win Grammys for that. You might not know it. It's not just those 4 categories at the top. There are 65, 66. I covered this in a class that we were talking about, and being like going all the way down to packaging. How is it like the liner notes? That is a Grammy award winning thing.
Didn't I feel like, was it August Burns Red or Under Oath? Like one of them, like one of the Grammys that they have is for the packaging.
Probably
like one of their things. I think it's one of those 2 bands. It was like a heavy band that like isn't going to win a ton of Grammys about stuff, you know, like for the metal category or whatever.
Because there's
like,
one category.
For
that.
But I feel like one of them, maybe they were just nominated. I can't remember, but it was something along those lines. I could look it up and do some research, but I'm not.
Side note, because you brought up August Burns Red. So I was looking at a band called Mariana's Trench.
Yes.
And apparently they do concept records.
Yes.
And one of theirs is kind of based around the Goonies.
Okay.
I mean, the artwork is 100%. And then they have a song called August Burns Red. And I'm thinking, is that from Goonies?
I
that
don't know.
from, what is that from? Where did the band August Burns Red get their name from?
Yeah.
So I looked it up, and apparently there was a member of the band, their girlfriend, who was named August, burned the dog house with the dog in it, and the dog's name was Red.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a really horrible story, but August Burns Red.
Wow.
Yeah. So sorry to bring your day down.
Yeah, jeez, holy cow. Well,
but you know what?
Band, and they're from Lancaster.
Are they really?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, Live is from York, so.
Right, that's true. And Poison's kind of from Mechanicsburg, sort of.
And Lizzie Hale was from York.
Who's Lizzie Hale?
From Hailstorm.
Oh, yeah. I was like, why do I know that name? But that's, I know the band.
LZZY.
Yeah.
Lizzie Hale.
Nice.
From Hailstorm. Lots of metal bands. There's a lot of bands from Pennsylvania.
It's true.
Just letting you know. We're from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
All right. My Segway got burned.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Did it burn red?
It in August. No, we were talking about I brought you down, but now we can have a song about your birthday cake.
That's true. Okay, so here's my thing.
All right.
Is this band Slothrust?
That's my guess.
Or Slothrust?
I think it's Slothrust. That is how I will pronounce it, but maybe I'm wrong too.
Because I specifically didn't look it up because I was hoping you knew.
I don't. I think it's Slothrust.
Also, I don't really have a rule for this show, but what
you listened to it a whole bunch of times.
No. I did only listen to it 3 times. But what I don't usually do is listen to more of the band until after we discuss or whatever. Not because I don't want to, but because I'm like, let me get on this thing. The way my brain, I need to
I
listen
do
to
the
this.
exact opposite.
You do. That's what I'm thinking. You always do that. But then I was like, now I didn't probably do as much of a deep listen as you usually do on the other piece, on the other people. But I listened to 2 more songs.
Okay.
Just to because I just was kind of curious about how much does this represent who they are. Mm-hmm. And it just 100%, it is. Yeah. Not that every song sounds exactly like this, but
it's not like a Rise Against.
This aesthetic kind of thing throughout. And I'm also curious about genre, but let's listen a little bit.
Okay.
What genre you say it is, at least.
Yeah.
As I drink my San Pellegrino Essenza, Tangerine and Wild Strawberry.
Okay.
Not a sponsor because I don't care for it. I'm just drinking it because I bought it.
Bud Light Lime. No, I'm joking.
No.
So this is one of those that you just find. You know how you it was on my playlist, and this is something that I really dig this song, and I can go back to it.
Yeah.
I almost chose a different song that I had just discovered last night because it was in there. But the problem with that one is it's the only song by this artist that isn't from High School Musical, the TV show.
Wait, I know what song you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because I just discovered that song, and then a friend of mine was like, because I share a lot of songs on my Instagram story, and she was like, "Oh my gosh, I love this!" And then I was like, "Wait, is this somebody that I should have already known about?" And she's like, "Yeah, I've been waiting for this song." I'm like, "Oh," and then I've seen other people share this song as well.
I'm really bad because I didn't I'm like, "Oh, I only discovered them last night," and I'm already I have no idea who it is anymore. Do you remember what it is? Since we're both talking
is it it's Driver's License by Olivia Rodrigo?
Yes,
I think is her name.
Yeah,
I should know. We should probably get this right.
You guys should
my
listen
friend
to
Shelby
it.
is listening to this. She'll
it's
be
really
screaming
cool.
at us, but
it was number 1 on Spotify global whatever. And the reason I know that is because Rick Beato, another YouTuber, he was I'm going to listen to the top 10 of whatever and just see what it's like, because he does this. It's becoming he's going to do it every so often.
Okay.
It's just listen to the top 10.
Yeah.
And see what's going on. And that was the number 1. I'm like, this doesn't sound like a top 10 song. Because it kind of sounds like Lizzie McAlpine, kind of, sort of.
You know what's funny is, do you know how I found out about that song? Because Lizzie McAlpine shared it to her Instagram story.
There
and I
you
was
go.
like, well, it's good enough for Lizzie. Let me check it out.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
But yeah, that song was on, and it was it's really, really cool. It's really good. If you listen back to our Lizzie McAlpine episode with our Valentine's Day episode, or week, I guess would be.
By the way, since we recorded that, I got my copy of the Lizzie McAlpine vinyl.
Cool.
I was super excited, like limited run kind of thing.
What is it? Black vinyl or is it?
You know what? I haven't opened it up yet.
Okay.
It's sitting on my record player, like to be played as the next thing that I play.
Yeah.
But...
Bicolored vinyl. It's way cooler. I actually bought a vinyl because it looked cool in a picture, and I didn't really know the band at all. I'm just like, that looks pretty cool. I want that.
I will say,
it was like gold and black and
as
orange.
a kid. Like teenager or whatever, like buying CDs at the record store or the like FYE or whatever. Or actually probably the Wall at that point. Remember that, the Wall?
No, where we had it was I forget what it was called up where we were.
Okay, well the Wall I think was like a national thing. Anyway, but I would buy like it'd be in the genre, like especially if I'm like looking at like the punk when they had the punk thing or whatever or ska or whatever. Like that album looks cool or that band name is cool. I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah.
And sometimes it works out.
I did that.
It doesn't always.
I based that once on visuals, and it was bad. It was real bad.
Yeah,
the artwork was really cool, but the music.
That's the thing with
really
vinyl
bad.
though. It's like a little more expensive than CDs were, so like it's not always worth the risk. But anyway.
All right. Anyways, so Birthday Cake by Slothrust or Slothrust. I think it's Slothrust only because if they did Slow Rust, it would have been a W. There's no
Slothrust.
Yeah, I get it. SLO. There's no W.
Doesn't need to be.
But there could be like an umlaut.
Yeah, your band name is Echoes in the Well House, and there's no E in it.
Yeah, because it's like. Anyways. So I like it. Production, it just the whole thing. Hey, it's acoustic guitar and.
It also sounds like not from 2018.
Yes.
It could be mid 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, especially here.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
And then
if I asked you, do you want to die? You'd probably just lie and say no. And if you asked me, do I feel sick? I'd probably try to trick you and say how I wish I did. I'd probably try to trick you and say how I wish I did.
The lyrical content is the thing that
and that's how I know
got me on this too, because it's
again. Put your pedal to
I guess
dark.
Basically, well, it's like about a toxic relationship, but like
break my legs if you want
break
me
my
to
arms and
stay
break my legs and whatever. You cut my hair off and whatever. Like wondering how autobiographical this is, and I'm hoping it's not too much, but probably.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I like that.
Did you look up? Do you know about this band at all?
No, nothing.
Boo on us.
Yeah. I did really bad research for this episode, but
okay.
this is going to be. I think it's going to be a long episode. Anyways, this song.
I'm just gonna Google them real quick.
I like that it's not. It's not clean and cut. The way that the words flow aren't super structured.
Oh, it's very stream of consciousness.
Yeah, like the way that she just said.
Stay put underneath the covers. I don't care about
anything, right? Like that. And like there's a pause, and then this is cool because drums and bass.
And it's got this like punky aesthetic to it, but it's still kind of folky, like a folk.
It's kind of like 90s grunge.
I got grunge vibes too. Yeah. But definitely like with more of the acoustic guitar, like it
but hey,
yeah.
Electric guitar now, and now it's like I'm mad now.
Yeah.
Cause it's your party, treat me how you want. Your mother and your aunt don't care for me anyway.
And that's like the only kind of like
anyway.
But I never thought it would happen to me. You cut my hair off in my sleep and put it in the kitchen.
Yeah, it reminded me like obviously partially because it's a female lead singer, but like, do you know the Bomb Pops?
I know of them.
Like female-led punk band on Fat, and like so they give me that vibe as well. But like if they were more folky, acousticy, that kind of thing, like the Bomb Pops, which I'll probably play on here at some point. I did break my one rule of not mentioning bands that I'm gonna play at some point.
I'm gonna play all the songs by all the bands.
Yeah,
I'm sorry I broke my rule.
But yeah, it has that kind of vibe to it.
Yep,
to me. Also, Frank Turner vibes a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
What would happen to me? Well, you treat me like a little toy and made me do a dance.
Right here. Like the woo.
Yeah.
This is so cool. Like, there's two guitar solos going on at the same time, and one is like more like I'm just gonna repeat the vocal line, but while the other one's just doing other completely stuff.
I mean, there's similar-ish.
Yeah. But they're panned left and right, and then also that boom boom, and then like the kind of the radio-esque.
Yeah. Yep.
That's
that
exactly distortion.
Yep.
Yeah. Pause. Nice pause. Yeah. Nice jump in the air pause.
Yeah, totally. Kick out the foot. By the way, if you can pause over. So it says the name Slothrust, it is Slothrust, came together as a combination of
sloth and rust.
Leah Wellbaum, she's the lead singer. Her former project called Sloth Box, and Rust to signify the passing of time.
Cool.
Yeah. They all met at Sarah Lawrence when they were in college together.
Look at them going to Sarah Lawrence.
Smarty pants.
Yeah. And we're back. We've got 14 more seconds.
Let's do it.
Tie me with balloon strings to the floor. I don't care anymore. You can do what you want. No,
so speaking of violins from the Sammy Rae tune, and also like of the folky aesthetic, like if a violin showed up in that tune, wouldn't have surprised me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Totally.
So yeah, I dig it though. But I was like, yeah, let me listen a little more. Just again because I was mostly curious, like what is their whole vibe, and like yeah, it sounds again. Not every song sounded like that, and I didn't even listen to like full songs.
What else did you like?
Crockpot, which I listened to because of
it was not on this record.
It was not on this record.
Okay,
but it was one of the top ones on Spotify, and I was like, I got to hear a song called
Gotcha.
Crockpot, obviously.
This
and then I think I listened to the next song after this on the album.
Yeah, this was 2018, and the last thing that they put out was an EP in 2019 called Peach.
Sweet.
And it's an acoustic and live versions of stuff, and then Splish Splash. I've never heard it. Let me listen to it.
Splish splash, I was taking
it is.
I was wondering.
It is. Is it? How fast?
All about a Saturday night.
This is going to be hilarious.
Relaxing in the tub, thinking everything was alright. Well, I stepped out of the tub, I put my feet on the floor, the towel around me, and I opened up the door.
Surf rock almost.
Yeah.
I jumped back in the bath. Well, how was I to know there was a party going on? There was a collision and a splash.
Okay, this is just weird now.
There we go. We could use that on a covers episode.
Okay.
Kind
so they on that EP there's an acoustic version or a live version of a song that's on this record. This record's called The Pact.
Which does she say The Pact in that song?
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And this isn't even like the top hit of this album. This is like the top 3, which means people who listen to this band just like start at the beginning and go.
Right.
Which I don't really like. I wish it was like this goes back to our top 100 comment. I hate the way that music is released now, because like when an album is released and then it's like the album is popular, then the whole thing goes up to the top, and then you just have like, well, I don't consider that being like, oh well, this album is like the top 10 and 5 of the tracks are by the same artist off the same record,
like Folklore and Evermore. Or like that.
Yeah.
Probably. Or still like that because Evermore is the newest.
Actually, it's not. It's not.
But Folklore was for sure. It was like every week on the Discover New Music, it's just the next song off of that. Which I also feel like we had this conversation.
We did.
Sweet.
We did. We had this
on the Billie Eilish podcast.
On next week's Billie Eilish podcast.
I think the running joke that we always talk about Billie Eilish but never play Billie Eilish. Which we also might have mentioned before.
Yeah, we did. We did. So, yeah, the top 100 global. Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. I've seen lots of people
Danger,
post about
the
Morgan
double
Wallen.
album.
I think Morgan Wallen is a country artist.
I don't know. I'll listen to the first song on here. And
Yep.
No, yeah. That's total.
Yeah. I was just going to say, the people that I have seen post about this album, I'm like, I either know that they definitely listen to country, or I'm fairly certain they listen to country. And that's not a drag. I'm just saying. So
no. I'm gonna put some country on here.
Sweet.
You love a country artist.
I love a specific country artist, and mostly the one album for sure.
Yeah.
And I'll probably play that even though again we're trying to like expose each other to new stuff, it's about the listeners as well.
Yeah. There's a third person in the room that we never talk about, and it's you, the listeners.
Oh my God.
And if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can go to twotunespodcast@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram at
Two Tunes Podcast.
And we have a Discord that I would love for you to join.
Should we be on Facebook too?
It's too much stuff, man.
Probably just for some of the shit. I don't know, man.
When we get more people, if there's more people and they're like, hey, you need to start a Facebook
or a TikTok. No, I'm not doing TikTok.
We're not doing any of that stuff. I'm not doing. I can only handle nothing.
Take videos of Bo, and that'll be the TikTok.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll be back next week with 2 new tunes
on the Two Tunes Podcast.
We'll see you.
Don't
later.
forget to put the theme in.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Sweet.
Bye.
All right, bye.